So we've got the driver's top and bottom door hinges out of the car, and it's the hinge. It's already been cleaned. This is the passenger side. We haven't removed these yet, but this is the top passenger hinge. And I just want to show you the movement that's in this hinge. Can you see the amount of play? We need to fix that. There's actually less play than there was on the driver's side. The driver's side had a lot more play in it. So you'll never be able to get the doors adjusted and to fit properly on this car unless this is fixed and corrected. So we're going to show you how to fix those hinges and rebuild them. So today we're going to be rebuilding the driver's side top and bottom door hinges. These are the door hinges. We took them out and just cleaned them up because we're going to put them in epoxy primer and protect them from the elements. So now I'm just going to rebuild the hinge. This is actually the hinge right here. This is where the door mounts, and this is where it mounts into the body of the car. And if I move this back and forth, you can see how much play is in that hinge. There shouldn't be any play at all. You can see the amount of play going side to side on that hinge. Basically what it is the factory drives this pin in when this hinge is made, and there's these little bronze bushings. These bronze bushings, you can buy replacement ones through your catalog for the car that you're working on. And then this bushing literally gets tapped into this part of the hinge here. There's one on the top and there's one on the bottom. It's fairly simple. I'm going to put this in a vise. We're going to drive this pin out. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. But one thing that you got to remember is when you take these apart, to do them individually and do them one at a time. Because this hinge goes into the car this way, with the hinge facing down. If you were to put this pin in upside down, over time with gravity, vibration, and everything else, that pin actually can fall out. And you don't want that. That would be actually very bad for that to happen. Just remember, when you rebuild these, it all goes back the same exact way. The pin goes down, so gravity will keep it into the position it needs to be in. I got my vise here, and I've got the jaws open just enough for that pin to go through the opening of the vise. Don't want it wider, I just want it open enough so I have some meat of the metal here so it doesn't bend. I'm just going to stick that on my vise right here, and I'm going to take a hammer and just tap that pin out, and it comes right out. So this is what the pin looks like. You need to make sure, look at your pin and make sure there's no wear on it. This pin looks good. There's nothing that's catching on my fingers, so there's no metal to metal wear on it. It's just where the bushing was riding. So we're going to reuse that bushing. And you can see where the pin went. We're just going to take that apart, and it literally slides apart. You can see the bushings, the old bushings. See if I can get this around for you. You can see where the old bushings are in the top and in the bottom. So we're just going to pop those out and put our new ones in. What I'm going to use to get them out, I'm just using a small punch that'll actually go down the opening, and I can grab the top part of that bushing and just tap it out from the inside. These are the bushings that we removed. You can tell they're a little worn. And compare it to our new replacement bushings. You see there's a little bit difference in the size, probably so it's more of a universal fit. And the process is just reversed to put them back in. You see my wire brush cleaner. Just going to clean that out, make sure there's nothing in there, no sand or grit. And then the new ones, to put them in, is just the opposite of what we just did. I'll use the flat part of my vise right here, and I'll set it on top here, And you just tap them right into position where they go. You don't need to beat them because they'll slide right in. They're made of bronze and they're soft. So here's this, we've got one in, now putting in the other side. Literally just set it on there. You want to protect it. It's a little overkill, but you can put a block of wood on it. Just tap it right in. Like I said, you don't need to beat them. They just need to sit flush. So I got the new one on that side and the new one on that side. Just like that. We're going to put our hinge back together. Literally, we'll just go right like that. The fit is much tighter this time, which is the whole point of doing this. But you can line that up. There's the new hinge and there's the other part there. And then we have our pin that slides right down into those bushings. I'm just going to tap that in. I've got the pin started. It actually goes in fairly easy. And the process is just reversed. I'm going to put this in my vise here. Close up the gap a little bit, just so that pin will go down through it. I'm going to take a hammer, tap it on home. Alright, so there's our new hinge. Alright, so here's the hinge we just rebuilt. Like we did before, I can't move this. Remember how much movement there was before in this. Works just as easy, but it's much tighter the way it's supposed to be. And that's it. We're going to epoxy prime it, and that hinge is ready to go.